because it's been long now. We've been talking for 2 hours. Shall we take 5 minutes break or shall I start straight away?
For me, you can start.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, I start?
Yeah.
Good. So, Genoveva, you're okay to start? Yeah? Okay, good. Thank you. We need to communicate via hands and feet. Super. Thank you so much. I will try because we have already we tried to fix all what I want to say into 20 minutes. So I try my best to do that, and we will start straight away with the presentation. I will try to share it. One moment.
Oh, you're doing a presentation now.
Yes, I'm going to do a
Okay.
presentation. Yeah, okay. So I need to share it. One moment. How can I share it? I need to share the screen. Okay. Here we go. Can it be seen? Can you see the presentation? I cannot, no idea.
I can see it.
Can you see it? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jan, for helping me with this communication. Okay, so I'll try to make the others visible also. Good. Okay, Genoveva, I will start, okay? Good. So the presentation is about this new homeopathic remedy. It is called Streptococcus pyogenes, in brackets Tilch C5. And in the English-speaking countries, they use the abbreviation Strep-Tilch. This remedy was named after me, but I will tell you a little bit more about it in while we go. I call this presentation I call this remedy is like a no-suit for the stuckness miasm. This is something, is a new miasm. So far it was not named like, we don't know this from Hahnemann, but as I saw so many cases of Streptococcus no-suit, I can clearly say now it is about stuckness. So, let me change the, here you can see my, here you can see my beloved teacher, Jürgen Becker. He is in the same city, used to live in the same city where I am now. This is Freiburg in Germany. And he was my teacher since 1984. And it is very sad that 7 years ago already he passed away. But I learned so much from him and learned homeopathy from scratch in his presence. And I worked in 10 years in his office. And the second very important person here is J.S. Shah. He's also my very dear friend and teacher. This picture we took in 2016 when during a stay of J.S. in my city, Freiburg. And I learned so much from him. And so these two homeopathic giants are my beloved teachers, and everything I have to say and can tell you about my findings wouldn't be there without these two people. So these are giants for me, and I'm so happy that I had the honor I was so lucky to learn from them. Jayesh, now this is many years later, his beard has grown. In 2015, he presented about Streptococcinum in Freiburg. And this was the first time that I became aware of the possibilities of this remedy. We need to go very, very quickly, so I will make it very short. For Jayesh, Streptococcinum was at that point his SOS remedy #1. He said almost every patient has received it at some point. And it's just like a panacea for just like everyone. He said it has a very broad spectrum at that time, and he used it always when nothing works, his favorite remedy when nothing works. So in this expression, you can already see this stuckness. You are stuck and it's not moving, not moving to the front, not going backwards, not left, not right. When nothing works and you are stuck in a case or in your own situation, this is when J.H. used it. And he used it a version from Helios Pharmacy in Tunbridge Wells, England, very huge pharmacy. And this old Streptococcinum that he used at that time doesn't have initial lactose triturations. It is directly liquidly potentized. And the new C5 triturated version that you can see here was created in 2021 after I had asked for it. It was my request to John Morgan, can you please prepare that remedy again and use these 5 initial lactose triturations. And this came from because I had seen so many very beautiful cases after that seminar in 2015. It took a while. I took it the first time I took the remedy myself was in 2016, and I had incredible things happening after that. My whole life changed completely. And I had seen up to that time, I had seen some cases, some very interesting and very, very astonishing cases in my office, but these were only very few. And then in 2018, more and more people came with very good reactions after Streptococcinum, and that's when I started also to use it in a very broad spectrum. And I saw that many good things were happening, but something was still missing, especially going to a deeper level on the physical level. And then I asked John Morgan from Helios after that. That's what I knew from my teacher, Jürgen Becker. He worked a lot with triturations. And from his science, I knew that 5 triturations would be good in our time, 2 more than Hahnemann had used when he started producing remedies. He had said we should triturate up to C3. And now in our times, this is what I understood from Jürgen's findings, we should have 5 triturations in order to make it available, especially in very important remedies, which work on a broad spectrum level. And this remedy is absolutely a broad spectrum remedy. And I asked John Morgan to prepare it in these 6 potencies, 10C, 40C, 220C, 1.3 M, 7.78 M, and 46.66 M. This follows a formula. And this formula, I have not enough time to explain it to you, but this follows a formula that came from Witold Erler, a very close pharmacist to Jürgen Becker. They worked with each other very intensely. And so these are the pharmacies where you can get this remedy. We will send around the PowerPoint anyway, so no need to be very hectic in going through that now. What we can see that this is a very broad spectrum no-sode, and you can give it collectively. This is very much different than we usually use homeopathy. Usually we try one very individual remedy for each person. And this is how we learned it from the very beginning. And in fact, just by clinical experience, I could see that if we use the Streptococcinum on a collective level already in the untriturated version, but even more with the triturated, C5 triturated version, we see if we give it like to all the members of the family and all the members of a group of people who live together, we see better communication is happening, relationships improve, the whole family is more harmonious. What we see is that people start all of a sudden speaking plainly, just releasing emotions and things that need to be said that so far they had swallowed down, because, you know, Streptococcus bacteria are all about swallowing down, difficult swallowing. And our tendency to swallow down emotions in order to adapt to our surroundings and to our symbiosis partners, can create a lot of problems when we keep these emotions inside, and it creates a lot of difficulties in relationships also, because if we don't speak plainly, then the other one doesn't know what's going on in us, and we have charged emotions with heavy charges inside us, and these charges, they destroy our relationships and have a big effect on our relationships. And this is what happens if when we give the streptococcinum, we start to express things that we have swallowed down and that should be expressed in order to make us lighter and happier, and also the relationships improve. We also see that opponents and people that usually we don't like become suddenly nicer. People approach at us when we take streptococcinum in a nicer and friendlier way. Appreciation is shown unexpectedly. We have more love-filled relationships. Even toxic relationships improve or they dissolve. They just don't fit to us anymore. So what we can see if we use it in a large scale, I have in my practice, I have seen around 1,500 patients whom I have given this remedy, and have seen all these things happening on a large, in a large way, in a collective. This is all clinical experience. So what we can see is that we have our normal consciousness is we have this small me which is imprinted from fear and from existential fear, from birth, from our child traumas, from incarnation trauma, birth trauma. We have this primal fear in us, and this primal fear and this narrowness causes contraction, encapsulation, a lack consciousness. We have a feeling we are not connected. We need resources from outside. We have problems. We are disconnected. And we all know that there's also some more open space in us. We all have somehow experienced that. We have also experience of love and light and space and unexpected possibilities that happen, and fulfillment, solutions, connectedness. And what the streptococcinum does in this C5 trituration, if you use it collectively, it moves us more and more from that small me to the awareness of this bigger me, of this this connected me. It's just like this sphere of consciousness where we are all one. I've written 2 books on this remedy. The first one was written in 2022 and is going to be, it is or has already been translated into English, and it will be published in the beginning of next year. And this book has become a homeopathic bestseller here in Germany. We have sold so many thousands of copies. And it's written also for lay people, for everyone, because you can use it on your own. You don't need a homeopath to be treated with that remedy, because all what is needed to treat yourself is laid down in these 2 books. The second book was written came out this year in 2025 in June, and this is 3 years of experience with many international therapists and users, home users, that report their clinical experience with that remedy, and so many things are written there, and we are working also on translating that book into English, but this will take a little bit more time. But the first one will be available hopefully soon. And then we have a lot of interest in this remedy in the German-speaking countries, also internationally. And so this was a YouTube video. On the right, you see Corinna Klein. She's a wonderful, and she comes from television and works, does interviews on television. And she interviewed me also, and we published this interview on YouTube end of September. So now 3 months later, we have already almost 100,000 clicks on that video, and we have huge interest, and we receive incredible, beautifully comments also under the video. And I wanted to just share with you what one person has written under this, in the comment section under this video. And she says, I learned about this remedy 1.5 years ago through an interview with Andreas and immediately purchased the course. We have a video course. I will show you that later. And the remedies in all potencies. I started with 40C, which had quite a physical effect. By that she means that on the physical level, once you start with that C5 triturated streptococcinum, there's a good chance that you will have also physical reactions, some acutes coming up, acute flu or whatever, or just only a little bit of pain in the throat for a few days, because it's about swallowed down and suppressed emotions and charges. And once you start giving that remedy, you will have more acutes coming up in order to release what was stuck inside. So she knew about that, and she says, however, she was able to understand this well thanks to the knowledge she gained from the course, because in the course I talk a lot about these first reactions. And I now take Streptilch daily in various potencies, switching according to how I feel. This is a way she does it. I don't recommend to change potency daily, but this is the way she does it. And the clinical experience is, the remedy has helped me a lot. I can cope with the madness around me much more easily. Overall, I'm much more stable, less anxious, and can express my views much better. This is what she says only in this one sentence, is very representative for what people say and what is the overall thing that you see in communities or in individuals who take that remedy on a regular basis. It's much more easier to cope with the madness around us, and because we don't have so many charges stuck in ourselves. So if something's come from the outside, we don't have so much charged energy inside that is triggered by all that. So we are less triggered, and so we are more stable. We are less fighting against our own inner charges, which are somehow the inner enemy, and some, you could say, the inner streptococcus feeling that we don't like. And we are able to express our views much better, so we don't swallow down things. And this brings a lot more ease into life. And then she says, I've already had many problem-solving dreams. I would like to thank Dr. Tilch very much for passing on this knowledge to us and bringing this remedy into my life. And this is very typical, this gratitude. I receive so much gratitude from people who start using that remedy on themselves and in their families. And so we can see that gratitude is, you can say, a healing symptom. Hearts open up. People who are somehow stuck and in a frozen or not moving state, they start to feel a lot better, because it's just like an abscess is released, then you feel a lot better once all these negative energies have come out. And so this is very representative what she writes. Another lady writes under that interview, she writes, thank you so much for the wonderful video. The remedy has changed my life. I was completely stagnant. Now I am flowing again, joyful, accepting my calling as a healer and a leader of a transformational meditation group. Since then, I've been seeing and communicating with spirit guides. I started with 40C for about a month, then continued with 220C, alternating between the two for about a month. This is a way you can do it. Everything is explained in the course. In between, I had minor infections lasting 2 to 3 days. This is also something that we see, as I told you. And from the beginning, I felt harmonious, balanced, and peacefully happy. For about 2 weeks, 7.78 M was the turbocharger. a dimensional timeline jump. This is a huge shift of consciousness. This is what I showed you in the beginning. You see all of a sudden, it's just like coming out from the mist, and you see like on a much broader spectrum, you see more how life really is, and you're less stuck in your own small worm-like way of looking at things, and you're going more to a bird's eye view. And this is very much happening with that remedy in many people who use it. Again, here a lot of gratitude that she expresses. This is a case of Eileen Naumann, a US homeopath. I got to know her last year, and she reported to me a case of a lady that she started to treat with the lowest potency, 10C, and she started the treatment 1 year ago. And this client reports 9 months later what happened during that time of taking that 10C potency, lowest potency, on an almost daily basis. And she says, before my healing journey with the Tilch remedy, I tried years of therapies to resolve the profound trauma from my childhood and the damaging effects from a drug addiction as a young adult. It has been a long, arduous game of whack-a-mole without really addressing the root cause of my troubles. So this says that she tried so much, but something was better, but something else got worse. This is very typical for unresolved Streptococcus state. Despair of recovery, you could say. This is whatever you try is like an endless loop, and again you're going back to the beginning. I was out of hope and answers until I was introduced to the Tilch remedy in December 2024 and began taking the 10C dose. 9 months later, like a human gestation period, I've seen results that I would have never in a million years expected. So much of my 50 years were spent in the dark. I never believed that I could have personal abundance from perspective that was for everyone, from my perspective, that was for everyone but for me. Success and the ability to be safe in this world and to provide for myself was always way out there and out of reach. So a lot of insecurity and feeling not really able to deal with life. And now after the remedy, she says, now I've ended an unproductive and personally, energetically harmful relationship that I stayed in for over 7 years because I felt that I couldn't independently provide my own living. That was before. But now she could end that relationship. She has now the ability to provide for herself, to parent herself, to give herself self-love. I'm healing my health on all levels. It feels like I'm coming back from the dead and pushing to gain momentum in the life I really want. I'm reassessing professional goals and believe that I can achieve what I set out to accomplish instead of listening to the old inner dialogue and suppositions about what others expect of me. This is very, very much Streptococcus healing. I'm finally able to be totally honest with myself about what I really want and show up in the world as my true self, unapologetically. So this is she has found the courage not to swallow down her own self, but to express her own self and to show herself as she really is. And it's this, what she says here, it's the inner, it's the trust. I believe that I can achieve. And just a few days ago, I had a professional basketball player, and she, after an injury, she was not confident anymore. How will this be? Can I be a player again? And she took only a few days of 4 weeks of 40C. And now she says, I've come back to my trust, and I can now, when I play basketball, I have full trust into myself. And now I feel like this is the right place to be for me. So this is just one example, but we have thousands of examples like this. I give so much credit to the effectiveness of Streptilch. It works on a fundamental level and helps me lay life topics seriatim, sorting out chaos and gaining clarity in decisions. Also very, very important healing symptom that you see very much, clarity in decisions, sorting out chaos, moving out what is negative, what doesn't serve anymore, getting rid of it. Yes. Sometimes I look back to where I was before this homeopathic miracle in December 2024, hopeless, cornered, empty, and practically dead. I was peregrine in the true sense of the word. Now it seems like I just walked through some portal, and what I'm really passionate about just occurred to me one day. So this is very, very typical happening from very hopeless and no trust into oneself at all to becoming more trustful. In the final sentence, she says, "The real I'm ready to have fun. This is the meaning of learning to fly." So what we can see in this new Streptococcinum, it is a very broad spectrum remedy. It has a super individual similarity to living beings on Earth. So this is still law of similars, but it is a collective similarity. It addresses the things that we all have in common. It doesn't address what we don't have in common, but it addresses what we have in common. And this is about existential fear. And you can use it in humans, in animals, in plants also. We see wonderful happenings. You see just this flowering is just more becoming more alive and coming out of stuckness and out of just like a seed that starts blossoming. And we see miraculous effects that can occur. I just want to, yeah. Genoveva, are you okay? Is okay? Yeah? I don't hear you. Okay? I need some more minutes. Yeah. Thank you. What happens? It has a huge, profound effect on incarnation trauma and birth trauma. It is a single cell organism. And this why it is so similar to us and to many living beings, to just you could say to all living beings on planet, because we all start a single cell organism, and which is not differentiated at all in this moment. It's just like this, I have this one cell membrane, and it feels very, very dangerous, and I have no idea how I'm going to survive in this, and I'm stuck in this body, and it feels very dangerous. And this is what can be transformed with Streptococcinum. And it brings frozen aspects from pre-linguistic times into motion and resolution. So this is from, you see, these, when we are a single cell, we don't have language, but this is just a very, very anxiety, primal fear feeling. And this is going to be proceeded with that remedy and to be transformed. It makes, what it does, it makes the unacceptable inside us more acceptable. This unacceptable streptococcus inside, the negative feelings and our anger, our grief, whatever, is going to be more acceptable. And so it can be progressed and it can develop and we can see things happening. So it leads from paralyzing fear to, if we have paralyzing fear, we have rigidity and are very, 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 very strict. And with Streptococcinum on a broad spectrum level, there's more liveliness and spirit of adventure coming up. And what happens is that we go into, just let me check here. What can happen during the process is that childhood illness-like states like scarlatina can come up. And the inner, there's a new paradigm, you could say, that everything that comes up when there's a weakness coming up, it's not about just like getting rid of that as fast as possible, but it's more about enjoying that state and to be nurtured from that state. You're enjoying maybe too much, but just letting it be there and to trust to deepen our trust into life. And so we have positive experience of helplessness and powerlessness. We have a mother at the bedside. We have people who take care of us in a children's disease. And so we feel like nurtured and cared for. And in this state, if we take that streptococcinum in our surroundings, the mother at the bedside also takes it, then there's a good chance that from this state of weakness and acute, what's coming up is going to transform into something very positive, that our roots become deeper and primal trust is developing more. And so this is part of the journey. And to understand this more, I don't have time to go more into that, but you could go into the course. So this is the course that we have made in English, and just for this event today, we managed to move this course from one platform to another. But since yesterday, it's working beautifully. And if you like to learn more about Streptococcinum, you could watch this. It's a 13-hour course with with 5 modules. You can watch them whenever you like, and as often as you like. And there are there's one English Telegram community for personal exchange. I also wrote a lot in this Telegram community. And if anybody feels like interested in joining this, there's until last day of the year, 31st of December, it is reduced to 129 euros. If you like, there you will understand a lot more about this remedy. I have more slides, but I think we have spent enough time. So Genoveva, what do you say? Shall we stop here? I cannot hear you. You can write in the chat, then I will understand. Yeah, share the link. Shall I share the link? Yeah, this is the link. When you use the, of course, we will share the link. This is also part of the presentation. It is there. Ah, you can't copy. Okay. Okay, I try to share. Let me see. Oh, one moment. I need to. How can I share the link? I'm not prepared for that. Oh, yeah, there it is. Wonderful. Elizabeth. Yeah, super. Thank you so much. Great. Okay, I have more slides, but I think this is enough. You can, if you like, delving more into this remedy, and especially if you are homeopaths, please don't use it first for your patients. Use it for yourself first and for your own family, because then you will understand what is changing in your own consciousness, and then you will have a lot more trust. Because sometimes it can be quite challenging when you give this remedy to patients and they have something swallowed down things coming up. And this can be, and they go through some very intense state of whatever. It's very helpful if you have experience with that remedy on your own, because otherwise you will be more anxious than the patient. And it's very useful to be an expert on this remedy first yourself, and then you will have a lot of fun with patients. I use this remedy in all my patients. I use it during pregnancy. I use it for systems, like for everyone. It's just like for me, the basis of my treatment nowadays. I use other homeopathic remedies also. I give gelsemium in a case of acute flu if it is needed. I give ignatia in a case of difficult emotional shock, whatever. But for me, this streptococcinum is no more an intercurrent remedy. It is more that the gelsemium is now an intercurrent remedy, or that the other remedies that are still very, very helpful and useful in homeopathy will be helped also with streptococcinum. If you just add the streptococcinum to your prescribing, you will see many more beautiful outcomes, because it will end the endless loop of being stuck in a state that never ends. So this is about canceling the stuckness inside. And I hope you enjoy the lecture. And even more, I hope that you will enjoy working with that remedy on yourself and on your family, on your patients. Yeah. Thank you.